Hello Exiles, I hope you're having a good day, same as I, because I just finished campaign. It took me around, let's see, sorry, /plate. It took me less than 1 day to finish the campaign, which is I think quite a good time. Currently I'm level 65, which is the predicted level to finishing the campaign. I'm playing gemling legionaire. I don't have all of my Ascendancy points. I still also only have the 2 that I had yesterday, because I think I failed my 3rd Ascendancy try, so I'll have to go back and do that later today. But I've done all of this with my gas grenade, explosive grenade combo. And I think some of you also would like to know maybe the progression through the game, what I did, what worked, what didn't work, and in some form of a let's say it's a build guide, but it's only for up to the campaign, up to the end of the campaign, because I haven't entered the maps yet. I'm just about to do so. Okay, so let's get you through what you have to do to feel really powerful, to dominate the game. Basically finish it in less than 1 day. So you start on a beach as a mercenary or other class, but as a mercenary you start on the beach, you kill the bloated miller, go to the town, and you get your first skill gem. And what you should get on a mercenary class is you should get permafrost bolts. And why? Permafrost bolts is great because of 2 things. The first thing is the cold ability, which means it slows and freezes the enemies, which is basically gonna stop them from swarming you and killing you with like few hits, which is very common on early levels. And the second thing is because it allows our first ability that you get on the beach, the fragmentation rounds, to do a lot more damage. Why? This is the first combo that you will get in the game. The permafrost bolts, it freezes enemies. See, like this. The icy coating of the bolts makes them extremely potent at freezing enemies. And the fragmentation rounds has a line that says bolts that hit a frozen enemy consume the freeze and cause an explosion, which we love, of shrapnel. Bolts that hit an ice crystal cause it to explode. I have no idea what the ice crystal is, probably some sort of different ability. But you see here, like attack damage, like here say over 1000, but this is like a high level ability. But as you can see, it's a lot of damage versus frozen targets. So what you want to do, you take permafrost bolts, you shoot an enemy until it's frozen. Just one of the pack, it's enough. And then you shoot that enemy with fragmentation rounds, and boom, explodes. The pack should be dead. And you will be doing that. You will be doing that combo for a whole campaign of Act 1 until you reach around the manor. And then the combo stops working. And it stops working because the enemies since that point, also a little bit earlier in the mausoleum of the Creator, they are heavily armored. And because they are heavily armored, it's very hard to freeze them. Because how you're freezing the enemies, it's calculated on the fact that if you're doing enough of the cold damage, then they will be frozen. But because we are not doing enough of the cold damage, because they have armor, then they are not freezing with our fragmentation rounds. So at that point, you will be able to fortunately change your combo, so you don't have to worry about it. But just so you know, you will not play it through the whole act. You will play it until like Ogam village, and then you will change the combo. To my gas grenades, explosion grenades 1. Also, what is very important during the campaign, you'll want to get armor piercing rounds, like take it as your actually third gem, because this ability enables you to break armor. It's very important to get this because, as I said just before, there are a few bosses that are heavily armored, and you will need this to basically kill them. I'm talking about the Praetor who lives in his mausoleum, and there is an Executioner who lives in Ogan Village. So you just shoot the guy with your armor-piercing bolts, then you switch to your shotgun, not the frost one, the physical one, the fragmentation rounds, and you just shoot him with the rounds. He should be killed quite quickly, so you will not have problem with those bosses. And after you're in the manor ramparts, then you're gonna start using explosive grenades, and also I think you should be able to have access to gas grenades, because it's I think at level 5, so you should be at for sure level 5 by then. Then you just shoot gas grenade, then you shoot explosive grenades, boom boom, everything dies. And I've been doing that through the whole campaign progression since end of Act 1 till just now, where I killed Doriani's favorite toy, and now he's helping me because he just died in 5 moves. Okay, so let's talk a bit more about the build and how you will progress your skill tree. So you will start by picking projectile damage, going all the way to remorseless. Then you will go to the ricochet, because you will be using the projectile of your shotgun. I don't have it right now because I'm using the grenades, so I don't have to. I unspec it, and you will also unspec it after you switch to the grenades. But for the whole Act 1, you'll just go here and go here. That should be enough points. You should also take those nodes with that, because this will be more enough defenses and damage to complete Act 1, or just up until the minor. After that, you want to unspec this, and you want to go through the cooldown nodes, because this is the grenade nodes. So we'll go through the grenade nodes, and you will go through the another grenade nodes, because they give you a lot of area of effect. So that means that you will have to, like, it will be much easier to clear packs. You will get, this is very important skill, you will get another projectile, and honestly I would switch to the gas grenade, explosive grenades at the point that you get this skill slot, because it just feels much more smoother. After that you will go through this node, you get 1 cooldown use. I don't think it's that much important, because like by the time that the cooldowns are done, you will be able to shoot. You got 3 grenades, which is more than enough. I have it because on larger bosses there are certain situations that you might be out of grenades, but you will be out of grenades for like half a second, so you'll not even feel that. It's just to have a smooth, comfy playstyle. Then you will go through here, you will path to the right, and you will take reduced fuse duration, because the explosive grenades, because of this node, take a lot of time to explode. This will make that much more faster and much smoother as well. After that, you want to go down here, and you want to take this last grenade node. You don't have to take anything else from this node, just here. After you've picked this, basically you should go to the left and pick the fire damage. That should be all the damage that you need for the whole campaign. I've also taken this node because it increases my damage with crossbow, but as you've seen yesterday, I've picked it during later half of the game, so you don't need that. I would recommend to pick, as I've picked, this Giant Slayer node. So the rares and the unique enemies, which are the only ones who do not die in one shot, now die in one shot. Also take this area of effect, because it just increases your damage and increases your area of effect, which makes it much easier to clear. After you, like, if you feel that you may be taking more damage than you should also pick some defense nodes. But I think the more important at the beginning of the game is just to change your armor to the one that has more armor, more evasion, and you will see a very huge difference in your survivability. So after our damage nodes are done, you should just go through the armor nodes. You can take this damage node here. You should take those armor nodes, because firstly, this one is very, very good because it gives you 1 evasion per 1 armor on your gloves. And for example, I have pure armor gloves, which you also should have. This will give you the amount of armor I have on my gloves as evasion rating. So this is very huge piece of armor. It's almost comparable to my armor piece. You should also get this, because this changes this evasion to another extra armor, which is like double dipping. That's why all of my pieces are armor, except my helmet, armor evasion rating ones. And you should also try to get those. Okay. Let's finish the tree. You should also take this armor nodes, which gives you unaimed threshold, but pick it later in the game. You don't have to pick it at the start. It's much better to go here. To have this backup plan. This is very, very good node, because it gives you a lot of evasion and armor, but it gives you only this in the situation that you want it. It gives you armor if you haven't been hit recently, which means that the first hit will not insta-kill you, and it gives you evasion rating if you have been hit recently, which means that if there are a lot of small enemies and they are hitting you, they will hit you much they won't hit you as much. Oh, let's go with that. I'm also pathing here to get the 5% increased dexterity node, and I'm going through the ability attribute node here because I want to go into attribute stacking, which was one of the most powerful kind of build in Path of Exile 1. Is it powerful in this version of the game? I don't know, and probably no one knows right now, because we don't know what are the super powerful uniques, but that's my plan. That's a plan for later. Right now my Ascendancy, as I told you before, it doesn't give me anything. I've picked gemling legionaire, I got quality of all skills, and I got +1 to level of skills. This gives me a little damage, this gives me a little bit of cooldown timers. If I would go through the campaign again, I would definitely pick Witch Hunter, because he's that Ascendancy gives you much more damage and probably much more confier playstyle with the explosions. So if you are Witch Hunter, first point should go to the explosions, second point either Quelling Strike or the cooldown on bosses. I think the cooldown on bosses might be even better, because the only thing that killed me were the bosses in this game, and they killed me only with their special abilities, which if you would pick that node, they would do much more rarer or less. So let's see my deaths. There's probably a big number, because there were few bosses that I've just smashed my head against, notably one of the bosses in the Cruel Act 3. Let me see how many times I died. 49 times. Quite a big number. But thankfully to the checkpoints, it didn't impact my timing that much. Okay, so let's talk about our abilities and my links. As I've talked before, the gas grenades we are using because of the explosion, part of the skill, and to do the explosions we need the detonator skill, and we are using explosive grenades because they have a very high attack damage, and it complements as those skills are both grenades. The skill gems that I am using is Corrosion for the gas grenade, to break enemy armor, and we want to break enemy armor because we are also using Armor Explosion, which makes this armor explode, dealing 100% damage, and I'm also using the Ignition to have more chance to ignite enemies, because I want them, if they are not killed, which also only happens for magic enemies and rare enemies, then they will burn, and mostly the ignite should finish them off. For the explosion I'm using Scatter Shot, which makes you have more grenades. I'm using Concentrated Effect to have more area damage. The less area of effect doesn't matter that much on this skill, because we're using the area explosion from gas grenades. And I'm also using the Exploit Weakness, because by the time the enemies stand in the poison cloud, they will be corroded and their armor will be broken, which means that the explosive grenades will do 50% more damage. For bosses, I'm pressing one more button, and it's the oil grenades, because they apply fire exposure, and that's the only thing that I'm really looking from that skill. And that means that we have skill sockets that we can use on stuff that debuffs the bosses. So I'm using Strip Away, so the exposure have more effect. It goes from 20 to 26. I'm using Fiery Death, which means then enemy have 60% chance to explode, I think. I might change that because I'm not sure if it works with that skill, but we'll see. And I'm also using Blind. Blind is very good because if the enemy is blinded, he has 20% less chance to hit you, which is great for bosses because their normal attacks use the accuracy rating, and they are much easier to evade. Okay, for the auras, I've been using Herald of Ash since I got it, and it was after the killing of King of the Mists. I have firstly put as a support Vitality, then later in the campaign I changed it to the Cannibalism, so my health regeneration is much better. And I'm also using Clarity, because the grenades take a lot of mana, especially if you have +2 your gems on your gear, which in my case is +4. And that means my skills are 4, and they are, because of my Ascendancy, 5 levels more than I should have right now. And it takes a lot of mana, 100 mana per shot. If you don't have that plus level to all projectiles, it should feel a bit better on mana, a bit worse on damage. So if you can, you should take it, but then you should also get the Clarity support on your aura. For the second aura, I've chosen Blasphemy, and this is something that probably on Witch Hunter will not work, because it has a lot of int requirement. For my Gemling Legionnaire it works, and I've basically spec'd a lot of int just to get this aura, because I can put Enfeeble on the bosses, so they deal a bit less damage to me. That puts in D&D. Okay, so that are the auras. I also have other skill shot, but I'm not using them. Just to show you, I will take everything off that I'm not using. I'm using Artillery Ballista because it's cute, but it doesn't earn a lot. I've also put Cluster Grenades, because this is something I think I have a lot of potential in the end game, but you need to have a lot of damage so it works. So for now, let's just put those gems away, since we're not using them and I don't want you to get confused. And let's see the build in action. So, we just finished the campaign, we talked with Doriani, he gave us something that's called Waystone. which is basically, I think, a map. So let's see what mapping is. Oh, and I cannot click map device. How do I do it? Maybe I have to talk to Dariani.
You must start with the area. In the time that device.
Okay, I need to figure out what happened. But for the showcase, let's go to end game node, which is the last map here, and let's kill Doriani again. Maybe I have to kill him twice to get 2 maps. Let's see. Okay, so how you should play gas grenade and explosive grenade. Firstly, you should shoot gas grenade. See, it makes this green gas that is poisoning enemies, but as I said, we don't need the poison. You shoot explosive grenades. Do that and that. See, it's green, and boom, and it explodes half of your screen, which means everything that was on this half of the screen would probably die. For bosses, you do the combination of gas grenade, explosive grenade, gas grenade, explosive grenade, and in between those two combos, you press your oil grenades just to keep the debuff active on the bosses. You can also place your ballista, but it doesn't do much damage, so don't bother it for minor bosses. Okay, so you see there are enemies, they're standing in the gas, boom, only the big guys survived, so we just pulled again. But since it's campaign, we don't have to wait for them, we can just go and find Doriani. You just go, you just put in the grenades. And you see everything dies. This might be the way to Doriani. So as you see, I'm quite a bit tanky because I've been specking I've been taking a lot of strength, I've been taking a lot of the armor evasion rating nodes, but the enemies can still kill you if they swarm you enough. Fortunately, most of them should die to the combo. So they will be on you for 1 second. The thing that you should have to avoid is elemental damage, because for some reason in this game the elemental resistance are very hard to get. In my case, cold resistance is very bad for me, so if the enemy is using cold damage, which rares and magic enemies can do, or for your case it might be fire or lightning, then you should try to dodge those attacks or kill them from the distance. You also should be using one of the charms. So I've been using fire because there was a fire boss before that was killing me. I should use the cold because my cold resistance is the lowest. You should use the charm that has your resistance the lowest. It doesn't give you resistance, even if it says on the title that it does, but it gives you resistance if the cold or other damage type that the charm is hits you. So if there will be a cold enemy here, he will hit me, then I will have plus 25 cold resistance for the next attack, which is good because you will probably survive first attack because of a lot of your HP, but the second attack, which is usually the one that kills you, and the charm will prevent that. Okay, for the campaign you should generally take your time, especially if it's the first time you're playing Path of Exile type game. I'm quite used to it, I have a lot of hours in Path of Exile 1, so basically I'm just running, I'm putting my grenades, they are waiting, it's exploding, they're dying, and I'm just doing that until everything dies. If there is a rare or magic monsters, then I usually stop. See, they're hitting me, nothing is happening because I have a lot of armor and evasion. So if there's a rare or magic, I stop and I try to kill them because they usually have better loot. Also, a good tip for the campaign is, as you've seen, there was a chest here, right? So, the chest usually means that you are going the wrong way, which is not very intuitive, but the way the game is made is that the maps are procedurally generated, and at the dead ends there are usually things hidden. It could be an essence monster, it could be a chest, most likely it's the chest. So if you find that, that means that probably the goal of the map, which is like going to the next zone, is somewhere in... it's not in that direction. You will get hang of that during the campaign, just to have your progress smoother, especially in Act 3 zones, because they are very, very huge. If you have not yet hit Act 3, then that's not your issue. But once you hit Act 3, and especially the city that is hidden in Act 3, you will see what I'm talking about. Like, the city is huge. The first time I've played it, it took me around, I think, 1 hour before I finished the zone, and I leveled 3 levels during that time. Which was very frustrating because I was very tired, because I hadn't slept a lot at lunch. Fortunately, yesterday I had a lot of sleep, and today in the morning I finished the campaign. Okay, so here is the Riani, who will not let us go to the maps for some reason. So we'll ask him nicely with our grenades, can we please go to maps? Okay, I need to focus because the boss is quite hard. I died to him 1 time, mainly to one ability that he's using. Not in this form is quite easy to kill, he's just doing a circle, don't stand in the circle, and just shoot him with the grenades. Might take a bit more, because I'm trying to explain abilities. Basically, when you're fighting bosses, you should always move, because the best defense against the abilities is just to not get hit. See, he's using ability, I'm not there, I'm not getting hit. This thing is shooting, I'm not in the beams, I'm not getting hit. And he's stunned, which happens quite a lot with these skills. So now we just use the combo on him lying on the ground until he gets up. And I think this should... no, this thing killed. Okay. Let's try once more. So let me be a bit more focused what's happening here.
The demon of Atzoatl has finally come.
When he's getting, you can put your grenades to basically like preload the explosion. It's very good because there are some bosses, and there will be a point at the game that you will one-shot bosses. Especially if your weapon is very good. My weapon is not that good. I'm still using the weapon I got basically from Act 4, which is the Act 1 Cruel. The Renly blacksmith sold me this weapon, and it had quite good physical damage, so I'm saying, why not, let's use it. I will show you my gear after we kill the Riani, okay? Okay, so these things killed me, so let's just deactivate those, because they stay in the arena. Oh, now he's putting his big toy, so let's just clear those. Let's put our oil grenade, our gas grenade, and start spamming our combo.
I cannot allow you to interfere.
Okay, so what you want to do in most bosses is go like me. The area is usually a circle, so just go either clockwise or anti-clockwise around the boss. Just shoot your grenades, and don't forget your oil grenades, so he gets the minus 26%. And just shoot him until he is dead. Oh, this is the ability that one-shots you, so you want to run and dodge. And I died to that one before. So be worried about this. Okay.
show you what true intellect looks like.
That was a lot of damage. And he's dead. You see? This is the hardest boss that I am able to get right now, and as you've seen, it was quite easy experience. And it was like that through the whole campaign, except normal bosses were just like 5 to 6 shots to die. There is one boss that you will have probably difficulty with, because he's very annoying, and it's the Balbala. Or Balabala. The djinn that gives you access to Sanctum. So in that case, we have one more ability that we should be using, which is the explosive shot. I took it out of my skills when I was telling you that you don't have to use other skills. So this ability is useful to just load the shot. So the explosive shot works this way, that you put grenades, you put your normal grenades, and you can shoot them if you have explosive shot, and it will detonate faster. It's useful to clear packs that are right on you, so you should use it then. And also on this boss that is moving a lot, which is the Balabala boss, which is in Act 2 and Act 2 Cruel. And it's the one in Traitor Passage here. I still have to use it because I think I need to do it to get my third Ascendancy. Okay, so that's it. I need to figure out how to get to maps and how to get my third Ascendancy, but I hope you guys will have a nice time and enjoy the game as I did through the campaign. One more tip regarding equipment. All you need is good armor, evasion on your gear, and also get resistance wherever you get. If it has resistance, it's a good armor piece, combined with like good armor evasion. If you're mercenary, do not take energy shield. It doesn't give much to you except a bit more life, which is much harder to get because you have to wait 8 seconds until it replenishes. You need a good weapon. This is a crossbow that I got around level 45, as it says on the item. I bought this crossbow from Renly, but not this crossbow. I bought crossbow that only has this first prefix physical damage, and it also had the +4 level to all projectile skills. I was quite lucky with the vendor. Then I just slammed it with the Regal Orb and 2 Exalted Orbs, and it gave me this weapon. I also put 2 sockets in it, so I could add more damage to it. The stats that you're looking on the item is the damage. That's all you're looking for, except on suffixes you might find +2 projectile skills, gain mana, gain life. Those are good stats that will help you throughout the campaign. On all the items, as I said, armor, life, resistance, that's all you need. And also attributes, if you're struggling with getting some attributes for some skill gems, especially like intelligence gems and stuff like that, then you should look for those attributes on those skills. Like I'm using the skill gem Clarity. Fortunately, not that much attribute needed, only 20. Same as here. Yeah, so I probably need 20 intelligence on the build to have all of the skills that you need. Okay, so that's my build. Once again, thank you for watching, and if you like that, give the like, maybe subscribe. I have no idea if I will have more videos in the future. For now, I really enjoyed making it for you, so take care. Bye bye.